Welcome to the Miller Life Kitchen. Thank you for joining me to pressure can leek and potato soup. Here is the end result after cooling 24 hours and washing the jars.
I have everything I need right here. I've already made my broth because I'm doing it raw pack basically with the potatoes and the leeks, and then I'm using a hot broth inside of the jar. This is a soup, so I'm gonna fill, you want it to be pretty much half of the solids or less and a lot of broth. So I'm just gonna fill these that they look like it's about half, because remember this is going to reduce also when it cooks. These leeks I had chopped up and cleaned when it was in season and had in the freezer. So all I had to do, they were already cut up, ready to go, and all I had to do was get them out of the freezer. I gave them a rinse, and I had them in water while I was getting everything ready. My potatoes, this is about, I want to say 3.5 pounds. I did not weigh it, but it was about, I'd say about 3.5 pounds. And what I do is while I'm cutting up the potatoes, I do use Fruit Fresh to keep them nice and a nice color in them so they don't start to brown. And then I did soak them for an hour and I rinsed them twice just to try to get some of the starch out. So I have my jar halfway full here, and my broth is a very lightly flavored broth. You're going to get a lot of flavor from the leeks. So you don't, I like to be able to use this in different ways. So the broth is basically chicken broth. It's about 8 cups. I figured if I have any left, I have more leeks in the freezer, so I can make some soup just without canning it. 1 inch of head space. So basically it's just chicken broth, some pepper, and salt. That's it. And I did add about 1/2 cup of wine. I feel like when you're doing a brothy soup like this, wine does lend it a nice flavor that's kind of living in there. You don't taste the wine, and the alcohol does cook off. If you don't want to use wine, just leave it out. I'm debubbling, but with soup, it's a lot of liquid, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Going to get my lid ready, have it soaking back there in water. These are 4 jars. They do say to put them in hot water. I kind of just use hot tap water and put them in there. And sometimes I don't even do that, but I did today because I had to wash them anyway, so might as well just keep them in the hot water after I wash them. I'm gonna put my lid on, my ring, finger tight. Now it's going into my canner, which is on the stove, and it is heating up, and it's around 180 degrees is what you want to try for. You don't want it to be boiling real heavy. You just want it warmed up so there isn't shock to your jars. My jars were in the dishwasher. Now I have them out and setting and getting ready. I am doing 1.5 jars. I love 1.5 because sometimes like a pint isn't enough for my family. So it's perfect though if you want to take it for lunch or something, have a nice amount of soup. Okay, so that's about halfway. Now I'm just gonna stir my broth a little, pack this one up. Again, 1 inch of headspace. This is such an easy base, and I love it for all kinds of things. Like, I'll not just make potato leek soup out of this. You could add mushrooms. You could use this for a base for really any kind of soup. Instead of using like a mushroom base, now you're just using potatoes and leeks inside of your... I love to make a mushroom soup out of this. And it's a really weird, but growing up, my mom always made string bean soup. So you take smoked sausage, some beans, we always did yellow, and then some milk or cream. I mean, back in the old days, we just used milk. But it was really good and hearty. So don't think of it as just this, even though it's great. Now, when you open these up, you can just use a little cream and thicken it. You can smash up the potatoes a little bit to make it a more creamy soup, or not, whichever you prefer. Sky's the limit. Use your imagination on how to use some of these spaces. You can also make like a zuppa Toscana soup. This could be your base for that. Throw in some ground sausage and kale. I actually can zuppa Toscana soup. If you'd like to see a video about that, I could definitely do that for you. I actually did a bunch when my green stock was full of kale. I didn't make a video. Sometimes I just want a can. I don't want to make a video. So yeah, that is what I did. But yeah, I do have a recipe that I use that is very good. And again, that would be a base. So again, when you open that one, same thing. You add your cream and whatever else you're thinking. 1-inch headspace. Take this off, kind of debubble. This could use just a little drib more. But that's it. That's so easy, right? This is a really quick canning project. I like those. Sometimes it doesn't have to be big and complicated to be a great thing to have on your shelves. And it's soup season. I like soup all year round, but it's definitely soup season. And into my canner. So I'll be back when they're all filled. Okay, I ended up with 6 1/2 pints and 1 quart. And then I just put a stabilizer jar of water. I'm not putting a lid on. I just like to fill the canner and have a stabilizer jar in there. I'm going to put my lid on and I'm going to start bringing my canner up to pressure. I will be back. Okay, I did my 10-minute vent. See the venting there. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's been venting and creating the pressure. This has popped up as well. So next we're going to be putting on my weight, and it will be 10 pounds of pressure for 40 minutes because I have 1.5 pint jars and a quart, but 1.5 pints that if they were all would be processed as a quart time. So it is 40 minutes. We're gonna wait for this to come up and for this to start jiggling and doing its hula dance, and then the timing will start. After I let the pressure come down, I let the canner cool. Here they are, looking great. Thank you for joining me today. If you like what you saw here today, consider subscribing and hit the like button. That's very important. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time at the Miller Life Kitchen. Bye.